Well, they're not yours. Oh man, okay. So, I want to talk about this episode of The Walking Dead, No Way Out. Now, I had originally recorded a reaction to this episode, but unfortunately, YouTube saw fit to censor my last recording because I had actually put material in there from the episode. So here I am recording it again. So unfortunately, my reactions are not going to be as spontaneous as they were last time. But still, I want to talk about this ass-kicking episode of The Walking Dead. These guys coming back from hiatus like they did. This was one of the finest emotionally charged episodes that I've seen in a long time. Coming back right out of the box. And they did a heck of a fantastic job here. I have to say, I love the fact that we come right back into these guys, and from the very first, from the first opening scenes here, we're talking about, Negan's bikers, the saviors, I guess they're called, coming in here and try to, strong arm Daryl and Sasha and Abraham, getting there, Gluteus Maximus is handed to them, Daryl Bazooka and them, all the frack. I mean, this was right out of the box, WTF moment. This was freaking brilliant. By the way, just in case I didn't tell you, this is Lal Winstrom, your subspace meditator, coming to you once again. So, anyway, Daryl Bazooka's Negan's bikers. This was awesome. This was one of the best moments of this opening scene. The other thing I want to talk about here is the fact that I love how these guys keep us on the edge. I mean, one of the things that got me in this episode was the fact that you see Jesse's entire family dies. I couldn't believe how, to me, it was just a kind of a sad thing, but it did keep me on the edge of my seat emotionally, because it shows you that no one is sacrosanct in this show. Anybody can buy it at any time when you don't expect it, and then you never know what's going to happen. Jesse gets killed trying to save her son Sam from the walkers. Sam gets eaten alive. Jesse gets eaten alive, and then you see Ron reacting by picking up the gun when wait hold on a minute. Holy crap. Okay, I had to put that scene in there. That was just too fucking funny. Okay, so anyway, Sam gets eaten alive. You know something's going to happen to Sam. I mean, it's kind of like it was a foregone conclusion. The way he's been behaving all season long, that something was going to happen to Sam sooner or later. Then you see Jessie reacting to the fact that her son's being eaten by the walkers. She gets eaten by the walkers, attracting their attention with all her noise and crying and stuff. She's hanging on to Carl, in this death grip that he can't let go of. And then you see Rick here, reacting to all of this. At first, I got to be honest with you, I thought this was a dream. I did not think that this was real. I mean, when you see Sam remembering what Carol told him was going to happen to him if he told on her about her taking the guns and everything from last season, at first I thought, no, this has got to be a dream. This is some kind of hallucination or some kind of dream or something. But no way, man. The Walking Dead just does not do that kind of thing to you. They bring it to you. They pounce you with it. They let you have it. You can't escape. They have a death grip on your emotional heart. That's kind of the way it is in this show. I mean, you cannot get away. They won't let you get away. So what happens next? Jesse, is being eaten by the walkers. Rick sees this. He has to make an impossible choice now. The only choice is clear, because Jesse's being killed. She's going to die anyway. He takes his axe. He cuts off her hand, breaking Carl free from her grip. The gun falls out of Carl's, pants or whatever, and Ron picks it up and he looks at Rick and he points the gun at him and he goes, You. It's like everything that has happened here now. My father dying, my brother's dead now, my mom's dead. It's all your fault, you mother. And I can feel the emotional turmoil that Ron is going through. But just as he's about to pull the trigger and shoot Rick, Michonne, the right hand, shoguns him through the chest with her sword. Now, that was beautiful. It was beautiful because you know that Michonne is going to be standing right beside Rick. You know she's going to be standing right beside Carl. Those people are inseparable. I mean, the evolution of Michonne's character, this is why I love this character. She's a steady right-hand rock, but you can still see that there's a suppressed vengeance inside of her, that she's willing to unleash that warrior spirit when it's needed. And on behalf of Rick, on behalf of the rest of the group, she will do it to defend her own. And that's one of the things I love so much about Michonne. Now, on another tip, though, I am kind of, to this degree where I kind of think like, Rick is kind of a Jack Bauer scenario for me. And I say that because in 24, Jack Bauer was the kind of guy who just could not get any love. If he could, he couldn't keep it, because something about him kept driving women away, or they kept being killed, or something kept happening to him. And it was the nature of his work, the nature of his personality, that just kept getting in the way of him finding true love with any real woman. And even when he found it, he couldn't keep it. And I'm kind of thinking the way, in a way, Rick Grimes is kind of the same way. So when I see Jesse dying, when I see the fact that, his wife Lori Grimes is dead too, there's not that much, there's not that much love. There's not that much hanky-panky going on in the post-apocalyptic Walker world, and you kind of wonder, what's going on with that. But anyway, that's kind of the way it feels to me, sometimes. But I'm going to talk about that a little bit more, because something's very, very awkward, at least to me, happened in the other episode that just came on, and I got to talk about that a little later too. So anyway, Carl gets shot through the eye when that stray bullet is fired from the gun that Ron picked up. I did not expect that. Although I know it's in the comic books, I did not expect that. And by the way, the way Carl loses his eye in the comic books is different from what happened here in the TV series. But I still didn't expect it. I'm wondering now how Chandler Riggs is going to deal with that, in terms of acting. I wonder how it's going to change the character of Carl himself. This should be interesting to observe. So, these will be some interesting things to see as we go along. Now, let's talk about our boy Glenn. I really thought that maybe Glenn might buy it this time. And this is where the emotional power of this show really keeps you on edge and keeps you guessing. And this is one of the things I love about this show, as I said. Glenn, earlier this season, they faked us out, and they did it pretty well by making you think that Glenn was dead for several episodes after he, was overrun by all these walkers. And, this time around, I wondered if this was real, if he trying to rescue Maggie off of that platform, if he had sent Enid up there and he knew that he was going to have to make a sacrifice. We know Maggie's pregnant. We know that she's she's going to have a baby with Glenn. And I'm wondering, the setup was just rolling through my mind. Are they going to sacrifice Glenn now that he has an offspring on the way? And, that will be the way they continue this character through the child. But, they didn't do that. But still, I love the fact that they took you right to the edge, they let you dangle over the cliff, and then they pulled you right back up by the ankles and said, we got some more for you. I love the way at the last minute, Sasha and Abraham came to the rescue, firing their rifles in every direction, taking out those walkers, rescuing our boy Glenn right when he had ran out of bullets and was fighting these walkers hand to hand, trying to make sure that Maggie and Enid got off the platform and over the wall. He was willing to sacrifice himself to the last. That is our guy Glenn. It's one of the things we love about him. But we couldn't, I couldn't fathom that, Glenn might actually buy it this time. So, but that was good. It was still, like I said, it was an emotionally powerful moment, and it was one that I loved. So, we see Michonne and Rick running towards, the medical house after Carl is shot through the eye. And he's, once he's taken care of, once he's been, delivered to proper medical care, Rick, figures, he's gone through this before with Lori when she died. You remember that scene when she died, I think in season 2, after Rick found out that Lori had delivered the baby and that she was dead. He goes into this kind of like this state. He picks up an axe and he goes and he storms the prison and he starts killing walkers left and right. Well, here we go again. The same thing happens again this time. When Carl is shot, Rick figures, I guess, my world is going to hell again. And the kind of guy Rick is. He's going to take it to you. Take it to the walkers, take whoever's threatening his world. He's going to take it to them, whether they be walker or living. So he takes his axe out of his pocket again in this episode, and he's no way out, and he goes and he takes on the walker single-handedly. And the others, as they see him doing this, they finally decide to join him. They finally decide to get involved. You see everybody coming out there. Morgan, Rosita, Carol, Michonne joins them out there after Carl is okay. Tara, everybody walks out there. Even some of the people who previously were shown to be some of the biggest cowards, like Eugene and Gabriel. I love this episode. I love what Eugene said. Nobody gets to check out today. They're going to write stories about today. That was a wonderful line to me. It was brilliant. I mean, my first reaction to it is far greater than what you're hearing now. But I love that line because, to me, that was almost like a Klingon line. I'm a big Star Trek fan as well. And if you ever hear the Klingons when they're going into battle, if you ever hear them when they're going into a hopeless situation, they always say things like, stories will be told about today, songs will be sung about today, today is a good day to die. Well, to me, that was a kind of a line that Eugene said in his own way. Nobody gets to check out today. They're going to write stories about today. Even our boy Eugene found his courage in this episode. Our boy Gabriel found his courage in this episode as a priest, as a man of God. I love these things. And then you see that montage of everybody out there hacking and slashing and cutting their way through these walkers, knocking them, mowing them down left and right. This was brilliant. This was one of the most awesome comeback episodes that I've seen in a long time from The Walking Dead. And I love the emotional charge of this, the way it built you up. It gave you crests and plateaus, peaks and valleys, but in the end, it gave you that climax that you were expecting. Loving how the way Daryl took that bazooka, lit the lake on fire with the gas truck, had the walkers walking right into it. Everybody is fighting to bring Alexandria back. This was a brilliant episode. Congratulations to you guys at The Walking Dead. This was a brilliant episode. So that's what I wanted to say about this episode. And in my next little installment on The Walking Dead, on our next episode, I've got something to say about this very surprise ending that happened between Michonne and Rick at the end, because I'm going to tell you, I did not expect that at all. But anyway, until the next time, peace out.